Okay guys, so something really crazy just happened. We've just uploaded a video, rumours on the Samsung Galaxy S6, and within 1 minute we got 17 views, so thanks guys for that. But at the same point as we uploaded it, BBC News released a video of the Samsung Galaxy just being released. So it's just been released, so we're just going to make a quick video of our first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy S6. Obviously we haven't got hold of the phone yet, so yeah, so here we go. Okay, so first of all, Samsung has released two flagship devices. They've got the Samsung Galaxy S6, which has just come on from the Samsung Galaxy S5, and they've got the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. Now, obviously the main one that's going to be talked about on the internet is going to be the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. So, I don't know if you can see here, but it's got a curved screen on the side, which is obviously the main selling point of it. So we're going to talk about all the curved screen and all those features later on in the video, but to start off with, we've got, these are just some of the text and specs. So we've got a 5.1 Quad HD core with 577 pixels per inch on the screen, so really high definition screen. We've got a Quad 2.1 GHz and a 1.5 GHz octa-core processor, so really fast, really big processor. Obviously Android 5 Lollipop. Same back-facing camera of 16 megabytes, but they've upgraded the front-facing camera to 5 megabytes, much more than the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. They claim on their website that the camera, the back-facing camera, does better in low exposure and in darker light. So we've got, we've got 5 megapixel front-facing camera, 60 megapixel back-facing camera. Now they've got this new charging system, ultra power saving. So they're claiming that you can charge your phone from 0 to 50% in the first 30 minutes, which is, they say, is half the time that you can charge the iPhone 6. So that's obviously a good thing. We obviously want phones to start having much better charge. So they've also got wireless charging, which can work with multiple different chargers. You'll have to read up a little bit more about it yourself, but this is just basically what we found out so far. So again, they've got 3 gigabytes of RAM. The internal storage goes from 32, 64 to 128 gig, same as the iPhones. 2,600 milliamp hour battery. Only weighs 132 grams, so again, quite a light phone. And then obviously, main selling point, it's got the curved screen, which brings in some new features. I'll just talk about them in a second, but obviously this is the main selling point of the phone, but the Edge is going to be sold at a little bit more expensive than the Galaxy S6. Okay, so the curved screen, which brings in loads of good features. You've got, first of all, they've introduced something called the People Edge, which you just swipe up from the side and you've got little circles, customizable circles, colours for your favourite friends, much like the, I don't know if you remember on the iOS 8 when you double tap the home bar at the top, you've got the little circles for your recent contacts. It's pretty similar to that. Provides a quick way to bring up calls, texts and other messages from up to 5 acquaintances of your choosing, so I don't know, maybe your best friend or whatever. So you can assign each person to a different colour, very customizable. And the phone's edge flashes when it rings, so this provides a hint of this caller's identity. So if you set, I don't know, Bob to be orange, it's going to flash orange, so you can tell who's calling you. I don't know why that's amazing, just a new gimmick I suppose. But so yeah, that's what the Edge is for. Also there's a second thing, this is called the information stream, and it just slowly goes through the time, weather and selected notifications on the curved screen. So yeah. Okay, so in our previous video, there'll be a link in the description of the rumours about the S6, which have been clarified today when it's just been released. But they've moved from the plastic phones, which some people were like, okay, it's a bit cheap for a flagship device selling about £500. So they've gone to metal, which is good, competing with Apple. So yeah, they've got metal frame, and also they've made changes to TouchWiz, a very controversial thing. I mean, some people like it, you can either love it or loathe it really. So they've made this different, the interface has changed, so it's simpler to use by cutting back on the number of pop-up messages everywhere. And yeah, so the glass back instead of the plastic leathery type of back on the phone does however cause some problems. I'm going to talk to you about the problems at the end. There's not many, but there's a few. So the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the previous Samsung devices were quite slow when you're taking a photo. I don't know if you can remember, but if you get your iPhone, you tap the camera, take the photo immediately, really quite fast. Samsung have been lagging behind a bit, so they've introduced a new interface. So when you press a button, they say it takes the photos now in less than a second. So they've obviously taken advice from the users of the Samsung, and they've changed this. They're also claiming it's the world's first. They're the world's first by embedding support for both PMA and WPC wireless charging standards. I mentioned this earlier on, but this basically means if you've got a charger that wouldn't usually work for the Samsung, it does now, because I think they've worked with lots of different people to try and get it to work for multiple different wireless charging, which is also good. Okay, so now also they've increased the screen resolution. So the screen resolution has gone up now to 577 pixels per inch, much more than, I don't know about I can't remember what the iPhone 6 is, but it used to be around 326 pixels per inch, if I can remember correctly. But so they've gone up to 577 pixels per inch, and the screen brightness goes up to 20% more bright. Now they've introduced a new 14 nanometer processor designed by Samsung, rather than Qualcomm, that should be more energy efficient, but well, we'll have to find out, won't we, really? But so also the new addition is the addition of Samsung Pay. We know that Apple introduced their new fingerprint sensor, paying with your fingerprint. So they've introduced Samsung Pay. Obviously this will stand the test of time. People will say yes, it's great. Some people will say no, it's rubbish. So yeah, this Samsung Pay isn't the same as the touch fingerprint scanner. It's a different system. Basically, you get your phone and it's basically like a smart wallet you put up against the NFC chip reader, and it allows to read the same kind of thing as a magnetic strip. It'll only be limited to the US and South Korea initially, but I'm sure they're going to introduce this to different countries as they go on. So those are the main chunk of benefits. Obviously you've got I think they've done a great job in the design here. They've got the curved screen, completely different, new gimmick, and then they've got the glass back, which is Gorilla Glass, much more strong, scratch resistant. However, now this does prove to be make some big problems, because one of the great things about Samsung devices is you can take off the back as you will, peel it off, replace the battery, ruin the battery, add external storage. Apple iPhones couldn't do that, solid back. So now they've introduced this new solid glass back. It does mean that the phone's no longer water resistant, and you can't insert a micro SD card to expand the storage. Probably makes them a bit more money, because if you want 32 gig instead of the previous 16 gig, you have to buy the whole new phone instead of getting little cheap SD card to put in. So their side makes loads of money. Our side, probably not the best thing. One main selling point over Apple, which they've lost, but again we've gained the better design. So tell us what you think about it. If you prefer the nicer, slick glass design, then leave a comment down below. But if you prefer the micro SD storage, also leave a comment. Tell us what you think. So that wraps it up for the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. S6, much the same. Obviously updated new stuff. It's a little bit cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. We'll be bringing out some new videos. We've just released the Samsung Galaxy S2 review, so if you want to go and see that, we'll also leave the link in the description. So cheers for watching guys, bye.
You think you're cooler than me. You got designer shades just to hide your face, and you wear them around like you're cooler than me. And you never say hey or remember my name, and it's probably cause you think you're cooler than me.